Okay, so I need you to think about something for a second. GitHub, the company that literally stores the code that runs the internet, just got hacked. And the way they got hacked is so obvious in hindsight that it almost hurts to say out loud. They didn't get breached through some zero-day exploit. No nation-state firewall bypass. No Hollywood hacking montage. A developer installed a VS Code extension. That's it. That's the whole story. And somehow, that simple act gave hackers access to 3,800 private repositories of GitHub's internal source code. I cannot stop thinking about this, because this isn't really a GitHub story. This is a developer story. And if you write code for a living, or work anywhere near people who do, you need to hear this.
All right, so let's actually walk through what happened, because the full timeline is genuinely one of the most insane things I've seen this year. And trust me, once we get to the part about 18 minutes, your jaw is going to drop. Let's go. So everything starts on May 11th, 2026. A hacking group called Team PCP, which at this point I can only describe as genuinely prolific, launches a supply chain attack against TanStack. Now, if you're not a developer, TanStack is basically a collection of JavaScript libraries that an enormous number of web applications are built on. Like, if you've used the internet in the last 2 years, you've almost certainly used software that uses TanStack. They compromised 42 packages, 84 malicious versions, published through TanStack's own trusted release system, so everything looked completely legitimate, completely official. Your package manager would have just installed it. No warning, no red flag, nothing. And here's where it starts to spread. Because the worm, and they actually call it a worm, they named it Mini Shai Hulud, which is a Dune reference, which is insane. These guys are fans, apparently. It doesn't just sit there. It uses whatever credentials it finds on your machine to go publish more infected versions of other packages you have access to. So one compromised developer becomes 2. 2 becomes 10. It keeps going. Within days, Mistral AI is hit. UiPath is hit. Guardrails AI is hit. OpenAI confirms 2 employee devices are compromised. And at one point, the worm is literally impersonating the Anthropic Claude GitHub account to sneak past code review. That's not a typo. It faked being Claude to bypass security checks. The audacity.
Okay, so now we get to the part of this story that I genuinely cannot get over. The part that keeps me up at night a little bit. One of the developers whose machine got hit in this whole chain worked on NX Console. NX Console is a VS Code extension with 2.2 million installs. And because that developer's machine was compromised, Team PCP now had what they needed to push a malicious version of NX Console directly to the official VS Code marketplace. The infected version was live for 18 minutes. 18 minutes. That is not a typo. Not 18 hours, not 18 days, 18 minutes. Between 12:30 p.m. and 12:48 p.m. UTC on May 18th, 2026, if you had auto update turned on, and most people do because that's the default, you got it. You installed it without knowing, without clicking anything, without doing a single thing wrong. And what did it do when it landed on your machine? On startup, it silently ran a single shell command, downloaded a hidden package from a planted commit on the official NX GitHub repository, and then it just started harvesting. 1Password vaults, GitHub tokens, AWS credentials, NPM tokens, and this one is specifically painful, Anthropic Claude code configurations. The credential stealer was literally targeting AI developer tools. These guys know exactly who they're hunting.
So a GitHub employee had NX Console installed. Auto update was on. They got the infected version during that 18-minute window. The credential stealer ran silently. Team PCP took the harvested credentials, moved through GitHub's internal CI/CD pipelines, and walked out with approximately 3,800 private repositories of GitHub's internal source code. GitHub confirmed all of this. Their exact words were that the attackers accessed the internal repos after a compromise of an employee device involving a poisoned VS Code extension, which is a very polite way of saying a developer's laptop was the front door. And Team PCP, being Team PCP, immediately posted the stolen repositories for sale on a hacking forum. Around 4,000 repos. No lowball offers, one buyer gets it and they shred the rest. Or if nobody buys it, they just release everything for free. They are remarkably chill about the whole thing.
Now, here's where I want to actually slow down, because the story of the hack is wild. But the reason this hack was even possible is the thing that nobody is really talking about. Developers are the new attack surface. Think about what a developer's laptop actually is. It is a machine that holds production credentials, cloud access tokens, API keys, CI/CD pipeline secrets, private repository access, and often direct write access to software that ships to millions of people. It is one of the most powerful, most trusted, most credential-stuffed pieces of hardware in any organization. And it runs approximately 1,000 third-party tools, extensions, packages, and plugins at any given time. You know what a hacker used to have to do to get inside a major company? Phish an executive, social engineer an IT admin, find a vulnerability in the perimeter firewall. Now, find one developer with auto-update on and a popular extension installed. That's it. The developer is the perimeter now, and most security teams are still protecting the old one. Verizon put out their 2026 data breach report the same week all of this was happening, and one of the findings was that 67% of employees access AI tools through non-corporate accounts, meaning developers are constantly authenticated into powerful tools on personal credentials with no visibility from their security teams. Team PCP knows this. That's why they're specifically targeting AI tool credentials and developer environments. They are going exactly where the keys are kept.
And look, this is not a one-time thing. This is a campaign. Team PCP has been running supply chain attacks since at least 2025. Trivy in March 2026, Checkmarx KICS, Light LLM, Bitwarden CLI, Tanstack, Mistral AI, OpenAI, and now GitHub. 7 confirmed waves. 5 supply chain surfaces failed in a single 48-hour window this month. One group connects at least 3 of them. Google's threat intelligence team officially tracks Team PCP as UNC 6780. They are not a mystery. They are a known, documented, financially motivated group that has found a lane, developer tools, and is just driving through it over and over again because nobody has really closed the road yet. The attack didn't require genius. It required patience, a stolen contributor token, 18 minutes of access to a VS Code marketplace listing, and the fact that auto-update is on by default. That's the whole recipe.
So what do you actually do with this information? A few things. Number 1, turn off auto-update on VS Code extensions. I know that sounds boring. Do it anyway. A malicious extension only needs to be live for 18 minutes, and your machine will install it without asking you on startup. Number 2, audit what extensions you actually have installed. Not just VS Code. Every editor, every plugin, every package runner. If you haven't opened it in 3 months, you probably don't need it installed and auto-running on startup with access to your entire development environment. Number 3, stop storing production secrets on developer machines like they're sticky notes. Rotate your credentials after incidents like this. Assume breach posture. The GitHub employee whose machine got hit didn't do anything wrong. They installed a legitimate, popular extension, and that was enough. The model that security teams have been using, protect the servers, trust the developers, is just not the model anymore. The developer machine is the target. The editor is the attack surface. The extension marketplace is the supply chain. And until that becomes the default assumption, Team PCP is going to keep having a very productive year.
18 minutes. That's all it took to get inside GitHub. One developer, one auto update. 3,800 repositories. And somewhere out there, Team PCP is already setting up the next one.